You could have heard this episode 48 hours early on our Patreon, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. By joining us for as low as $1 a month, you'll receive episodes early and gain access to our Discord server. All of our upcoming episodes will be up on our Patreon 48 hours before it hits our public podcast feeds. But if you're hearing this via our Patreon feed, we thank you so much for your support. We especially want to thank our Real Ones patrons, including Buchanan, Rob Marino, GayHorse420, Cal50, Josiah Duncan, Grant McSpooky, Barely March, Jenna LaFleur, Dave Grohl, Darian Fisher, Alex RLD, Alex Gerchmanoff, Melissa Reddick, Lily Mikowski, Tony DeSerafino, Chris Wade, Selectric, Maze Farms, Bex, Georgia Mikowski, Noah Kurtz, Waffle113, Alex Bulovich, Alec Felder, Adam Edwards, Jackson Christ, Elizabeth, John O'Rourke, and Derek Pemberton. To become a Real One, consider supporting us with a $5 a month donation or receive bonus episodes of the podcast every month and get a shout out at the top of the pod. Anyways though, enjoy the episode.
Hey, everyone. This is Gavin from the Indie Heads podcast. I have some unfortunate. I don't know if it's unfortunate. We'll see. We don't know the outcome yet. Something has happened. Matty's not here. I don't know where Matty is. Haven't heard a word. It's been a couple days. This is a big episode, as I'm sure you know. We're gonna talk about the big one, the one you've been waiting for, but Matty has ghosted. But I received a cassette tape on my apartment doorstep, underneath all my Amazon packages, because I love Amazon. Use promo code IndieHeads Podcast for 100% off your next order. But underneath all that, I saw a cassette, and I've attached my cassette deck to my laptop, and we're just gonna listen to this in real time. I hope we get some answers.
Where the fuck am I? What the car? Who the fuck are you? What am I doing here?
I'm Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Anthony Kiedis? What the? Wait, no. Who the fuck are you? Seriously.
I'm Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I've been naked on stage. I've been naked on magazine covers. In fact, I was born naked, and of course, I'm naked whenever I have sex.
Why are you telling me this? Why? What the? Naked? What the fuck?
There, I'm naked. See?
No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see you naked. What the fuck are you doing? Get me the fuck out of here!
And what I have here is a condom, a latex condom. I wear one whenever I have sex, not whenever it's convenient or whenever my partner thinks of it. Every time. Look, there is very easy to open, and it's a breeze to put on.
Why are you showing me this stuff, Anthony? What the fuck? Why? Did you just kidnap me to give me a fucking PSA about safe sex and condoms?
Just think of this helpful demonstration and remember, you can be naked without being exposed.
That's great, Anthony. But I mean, why the fuck am I here?
Just think of this helpful demonstration and remember.
Why are you repeating yourself? Whoa, what the fuck? Ah, shit! God, fuck! Get me out of here! Get me out!
And that's why we can't defund the police.
God, you're not gonna fucking believe the fucking shit I just went through. Fucking.
Oh no,
Kiedis of the Red Hot
we heard.
Chili.
We heard.
You heard?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Yeah. It was all on tape.
Oh.
He must have stopped by my place before. But I mean, I don't know what happened after that tape. How did you get back home?
So thankfully, the guys that were shooting at our car, like, they realized that I was a victim, not cops. It was like just people that were after Anthony, like just, the condom.
The RHCP vigilantes.
Yeah. You know how like Tesla has like the stock shorters,
Yeah.
like it's like that for Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's people that are trying to get Anthony Kiedis for sex crimes.
Yeah.
But
That makes sense.
thankfully, they realized that I was a victim, and so they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for spooking you." You know, they got me, out of my handcuffs, and they got me a warm meal. They got me a sick coat. They gave me this really sick Faith No More CD. I'm gonna go listen to that probably after this podcast.
Okay.
And then they just dropped me back off home, and I'm doing great. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but I'm here, and this is this is the Steam episode, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh boy. Well,
I mean,
think
there
we
are
should get
other
into it
songs too, but like,
there are supposedly other songs on this episode.
We'll be
besides
talking
Steam.
about Pets by Porno for Pyros tonight as well, which I'm very
boy.
excited about. Very, very excited about.
Well-
we're talking Soul to Squeeze. Ding-a-ling-a-dang. You know what it is.
Well, I say we should get into it. So let's hit that theme music. Welcome, everybody, to the 90s Rock Number Ones, Episode 4. I am one of your three co-hosts, Matty, at Movie and Prince on Twitter. And, of course, joining me, my fellow co-host, as always, Gavin and Alex. How are we hanging in there, folks?
That was so fucked, Matty.
yeah.
The Keenest PSA really does sound like the American Psycho monologue.
Yeah, it's pretty
his
evil.
tone of voice is the same.
I just want to get this out there real quick. Doo 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 dingle zinga dong bone, body bada da zumba krunga kong gone bad. It's Steam Week. We've been talking about this for so long, and I need to not let down the Steam team. The Steam team are hyped. They're ready. It's a big one. This is a real big one.
Yep. But joining us on this episode, our podcast guest this week is Jackie, my former fellow co-host of the Death Grips Discog Breakdown and other podcasts.
Yes. Hello. I am so thrilled. This is the most excited I've maybe ever been to do a podcast. And the funniest thing is that the thing that we're all most excited about, like, I did not pick this week like, oh, I gotta get on the Steam Peter Gabriel week.
No.
I picked this because I am a very big fan of the 90s rock band Belly, as we will discuss, and I am also a fan of other such acts on this list of artists. And I was just like, hey, this is a good episode. I'll pick this one. And very quickly I realized I had stumbled into a gold mine and I had to protect my seat on this episode at all costs. And luckily I'm here. I made it all the way. I'm so excited to talk about this playlist with you all.
Well, it's a similar story with our special guest, returning once again to the podcast. It's Chris and Molly from Introducing and other famous podcasts you might know. Chappie Trap House, a podcast dedicated to the...
Matty, don't undersell this. Gautier Gauntlet Survivors, Chris and Molly.
Gauntlet Survivors, Chris and Molly. Welcome back to the pod.
Thank you for having us back.
Great to be back on the pod. Love to guest.
Which again, when I asked you to come on the series, I asked you to come on to talk about Soul to Squeeze because I thought it was so funny that there was a Red Hot Chili Pepper song on the Conehead soundtrack of all things. But we lucked into having
so
you
many
both
things
on for...
have happened. So many things have happened from now to then, and we will discuss all of them, including some things I would rather not discuss at all. But
we listened to the playlist.
We
listened to the playlist in the. We listened to the playlist in the car today as we were driving around LA, and this is a real shining sterling list of beautiful mediocrities.
There's a lot of that.
That's a fair read. That's a fair, because this is, I will say, this is probably the last episode of true 80s runoff, because I think after here is where we kind of really settle into like what the 90s is. This is the last opportunity for a couple of 80s acts to kind of make their last say. You got New Order in here. Yeah, last day. Got New Order. We have Peter Gabriel, obviously.
Depeche Mode. Tears for Fears.
Depeche Mode. Tears for Fears.
This really does feel like the new this list in general feels like the new wave dinosaurs battling against the up and coming like college rock going mainstream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Boy, well, let's just get into it.
Speaking of dinosaurs, right off the bat, we've got to get right into it.
Yes. So the last song we left off on the last episode was the B-52's Good Stuff. But then after that, on August 8th, 1992, Faith No More went number 1 for 1 week with their song Midlife Crisis. So let's hear a little bit of Midlife Crisis real quick.
This is just corn.
Yes, it's new metal.
This is, I was going to say, this is an important discovery of the missing link between 80s Sunset Strip hair metal and new metal. It's like exactly
100%.
the handoff between those two things, and that's why it's dumb and it rocks. I think this song is hilarious and great.
This song rocks. Yeah. As a butt rock fan, this song it's amazing to hear the seeds of the genre.
The blueprint.
They've got so much more. They've got a level of gracefulness that is lacking in the butt rock genre, even if all the elements are the same.
Yeah. Oh,
I have to
absolutely.
Say, I think that I'm increasingly a Faith No More fanatic.
Fanatic.
They're one of the bands that we're going to Riot Fest in September, and they're one of the bands I'm most excited to see.
Chris
there.
will be on the rails for Faith No More.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna blow my voice out singing Epic.
Yeah. Mike Patton, his 6-octave voice range, one of the most. I think it's one of the most diverse voice ranges like ever on a human being. Which it's so funny that Mike Patton has like that voice in terms of just like able to hit so many different places. And this is what he sings about. This is the music that he makes. It rocks so much. I love this song, honestly. Like I've been enjoying listening this week to week, or day to day as I'm preparing for this episode. Like it's Gavin, you said something because I was like, this is proto butt rock, but I think you said something very important about the butt rock new metal Venn diagram.
Don't remember my exact wording. I said proto butt rock is Pearl Jam, and this is proto new metal. And I believe it was all new metal probably could be considered butt rock, but no way most butt rock is new metal, if that
absolutely
makes sense. This song rocks. Any song that's in Tony Hawk's Underground 2 is a certified classic, in my opinion.
Tony Hawk's Pod Skater win.
Whenever I actually get a computer that works. Yeah, anything that makes me think of Bam Margera, I'm just gonna love it, I guess, until the day I die.
Oh god, yeah, no, this is a banger.
Yeah,
not much to say. It is very interesting to hear because I feel like a lot of this episode it's a lot of 80s runoff or stuff that really doesn't feel like it truly belongs in the decade or feels like slightly out of step. This is the only song where it feels like it's completely in step with the decade. Well, maybe like 2 or 3 other songs, but this one rocks. You could slot you could play this on the radio in like 1997 and it would still completely fit with what was going on at the time.
Yeah,
like I enjoy this quite a bit. Not much to say. It's very funny. It's a very fun song.
It's funny to start this one with like just a straightforwardly like competent rock song.
Yeah.
With like some dramatic flares. Seeing as everything else is like a tinge of something else.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like how it being called Midlife Crisis is just so much more straightforward than some of the butt rock. They're just getting right to what this is and what this is spiritually, and I appreciate that about it. It's like, yeah, this is a midlife crisis song. That's what this is for.
Did you guys know that like the album this is off of, like Kerrang said that it was like the most influential album of all time, which is a ridiculous statement. It's a very ridiculous statement. And I'm like, I haven't listened, so I can't say, but it's like when we talk about Faith No More being this important link between like, you know, the Sunset Strip, you know, hair metal stuff and like new metal and you know, butt rock, it's like they kind of have a point. Like this sound would, you know, sort of gestate and become the most dominant strain of rock music for like a solid decade and a half.
This is the song that launched 1,000 ships of bands that have guys named Chad in them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it rocks that Mike Patton has like a 6 octave vocal range, and he chooses to make like music that can only be associated with claymation clowns like falling off cliffs and shit. Like it's just such a great choice for a career with a man with such an impressive talent.
He uses his voice in 2 ways here. One of them is Lane Staley, and the other one is like a little gremlin he found under a bridge.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, well, again, not much else to say. Like I said, we're just killing time until Steam, folks.
Yeah,
we're just killing time.
We do gotta move quickly to get everything in.
Maybe we'll record a Faith No More report and send it in for a little later to be like, how do they hold up live?
Yeah, how'd they do?
Absolutely. Well, the song that would go on to dethrone Faith No More, and notably, the song would also keep off a certain song from hitting number 1, which Gavin, you have that information, but you'll reveal.
I did not have that information, but
I have the information.
Okay, Jackie has the information
about it. Is why.
Yes, but our next song is fucking Morrissey, who actually has a couple like number 1s, but we realized we don't want to talk about Morrissey like more than once. We don't even want to talk about him the one time, but it's kind of, if he's got that many number 1s, you gotta mention at least one. So our next song is Morrissey's Tomorrow, which hit number 1 on August 15th, 1982, and was number 1 for 6 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Tomorrow from fucking piece of shit Morrissey, goddamn asshole.
What I'm so surprised about with this is how milquetoast it is. Like,
I don't hate the song. I'll say that. I don't hate this song.
I hate it on principle, but I also did not like it musically before I mean, the elephant in the room here is this song is the reason why Creep didn't hit number 1, and for that reason, for not letting me talk about Creep on this episode, fuck you, Morrissey, you goddamn piece of shit. I hate you so much. This is the song that boxed out Creep, which is infinitely more influential and important and has a lasting cultural legacy, and this is milquetoast hipless garbage, and is just like, I've never gotten Morrissey even before he became like a fascist, terrible person. Like, I tried to get into the Smiths one time when like I had a girlfriend who liked them, and even that couldn't do it for me. Like, I just have never got the appeal of him as an individual musician, and then when he became a piece of shit, I was like, great, I can not care about this guy forever now. And then he came back to haunt me in this specific way, and fuck you, dude. I want to talk about Creep.
Yeah, my Morrissey Smith story is pretty similar, where like my first serious girlfriend at the end of high school cheated on me with my like second cousin who I was friends with.
Morrissey?
No, he might as well have been a wannabe Morrissey, because his favorite band was the Smiths. So I've never been able to listen to like, the only Smith song that I can get into is like This Charming Man, and I like re-listened to it recently, and it's like, yeah, that guitar riff is fucking sick, one of the greatest guitar riffs ever. Fucking Morrissey almost ruins it though. He tries his damnedest.
See, that's the thing, is like with the songs like this, I'm just like, I wish with all of Morrissey's solo work, I wish I was listening to the Smiths, because the thing about the Smiths is that the fucking band is great.
Yes.
Obviously, Johnny Marr on guitar, but Andy Rourke, the drummer, and Mike Joyce, one of the best of that new wave era rhythm sections. The band itself is so fucking tight. The Morrissey being a good singer-songwriter is like just icing on it. And so all the Morrissey stuff afterwards, I'm like, where's the band? Give me the good band. Show me the good band, Morrissey. And he can never quite deliver because he is an asshole and fired Andy Rourke, the bassist, via post-it note left on his car.
Jesus Christ. It is very funny. Like, all 4 of those guys can make so much fucking money if they reunited. Like, so much fucking money. But like, I think obviously at this point Morrissey is like not quite black. Like, he's headlining like a festival in LA like this summer or whatever. Like, he's not
is he headlining the festival that's like the all of the 80s bands? It's like a certain kind of moment. Yeah.
so he's not fully blacklisted, but I feel like it's just funny that basically I think Johnny has been like, I think he's been open to it, but it's just, it's that rhythm section that's like, no, you guys fucked us on royalties and stuff. Like, fuck you, we're not reuniting. Like, fuck off.
The only good thing about Morrissey being on this list, the only thing I will appreciate, is it allows us to talk about the great recent development in which he was interviewed by his nephew. I think this is just really important to talk about, which was that there was this quote going around. He's like he called COVID convid, which was just, I thought, really funny. But,
awesome.
but then that quote was being circulated around, and the first line of the news headlines would be like, in a new interview with his nephew. And I just, I didn't make it through the whole thing. It was interminably,
that's Uncle Magic, baby.
Interminably long and boring, and Morrissey's a nephew giving him softball questions for an hour. But like, I just thought it was really funny.
There was also when The Simpsons did,
oh my god.
For some reason, like this season, The Simpsons did like a whole episode that was like a Smiths like Manchester in the 80s pastiche that like somehow like softly satirized Morrissey. That's whatever. He released a statement about that contained a phrase. I can't quite repeat it verbatim, but it was something along the lines of, there are 1,000 laws to protect against hate speech, but no laws to protect me.
That's an old Smiths lyric. You didn't recognize that?
Look, fellas, when the haters are on your back, that's how you feel like sometimes. Okay?
I just want to know, does Morrissey's nephew have like a muck rack page with one post on it, and it's just that interview?
Oh god, that nephew's going places. All right, he's gonna get hired by the Independent or whatever the fucking Economist. He's gonna be doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing great stuff. But the song itself, here's the thing. I don't hate this song. Like, I can't. I think the instrumentation's fine. I can tune out Morrissey enough. It's not beyond a 5 out of 10. But like, I don't. It's not like some of the stuff in episode 2 where it was just painful to listen to over repeat. This one was like, okay, I can kind of zone out, because really it is, like I said, Gavin, once again, it's really all just this is all just obstacles to climb to get to the song.
I'm aware, but look, it sounds like Morrissey like is hearing the backing track for the very first time and trying to improv the shit over it. Wrong song at karaoke, kinda, and he's trying to like get something past.
You said like, that it sounds like a Viper song.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Morrissey is uploading like 100 albums a week to Spotify, and they're all just a little bit different, a little bit out of time. It's just like the rhythm section is not the thing that make this song bad. It's Morrissey. In my opinion.
It's so funny. I'm thinking about the SNL like punk documentary skit and how like Fred Armisen's character is like, fuck the queen, oi, I hate the queen, and like Thatcher's like, she's actually like really nice, she reminds me of my mom. And it's just so funny to see so many of these like 70s punk, post-punk, 80s new wave guys just end up being that character of like, oi, fuck the queen and the monarchy, and being like, well, I think the Brexit guys made some points. These damn immigrants, they're taking the jobs. It's just
the dead Kennedys are posting about Biden, like being old.
They posted about the fly on Pence. I'm about to smack an RT on that one.
Yeah, like being old comes for us all.
I'm not trying to be like controversial or anything, but it is also funny to me that like all of the music heads, all of the indie heads in the world are like, yeah, fuck Morrissey, fuck that guy. He's his music isn't good enough to like support his bad opinions. But also, if Morrissey wanted to book basically a show in any capital city in the global South at all, he could probably get like 1 million tickets sold. Like especially in Latin America, it's just funny how beloved he is in like Latin America and stuff like that. When everybody's like, oh, he's real bad about immigration,
It is like the devotion is so real. Like when he played FYF, I did not stick around for his set, but there were people just like, I am going to die to get to the front of this show. Like this is the most important thing in the world to me. Which like if you're still able to get that enjoyment out of the Smiths, like good for you. Whatever. Like I'm not gonna like chastise people for enjoying him, but just like as someone who has never been into his stuff before he became a bad dude, like I was just like, why am I gonna try to force myself to get into Morrissey now?
He's just an interesting character.
He is. He's funny to have around and laugh at every once in a while. I'll give him that.
Look, members of the Smiths, there was 0 for 2 in this series. You have the Johnny Marr song with Bernard Summer that was not good at all. And then you have this one. Yeah, the electronic song. I think the only person that liked that song was Boring Stein, who guested on episode 2. But that song, I get 0 for 2, although this one I like a little bit more. This one's not boring to me. Like that, and that's kind of, I feel like at this point in the series, that's just the bar you have to clear, is like, is your song not boring? Like, okay, then we're
in the 90s
place.
series. We've been looking forward to this since, like,
well, here's the thing, like I said, right now, that's where we're at right now. Obviously in a week or two, it's gonna be a completely different set of standards. Like, my standards are going way up, like next week, like next 2 weeks, when we do your Shoulda Beens episode and when we do episode 5.
Don't say that. I forgot that was next week.
Which, by the way, we'll talk about more of that at the end of the episode. But let's move to our next song, which was, I think, something I don't think we thought about. It was one that we were kind of debating on what we should do with it, but I'm very glad we decided to keep it on the episode, as our next song is Suzanne Vega's
we're skipping a song by our upcoming
legend. Yeah. We obviously had to make some cuts.
Actually, yeah, we're skipping a lot of this episode. Holy shit!
I'm surprised we did not add this song back in.
I think there's too much.
It's called Digging in the Dirt.
Oh yeah, so after Morrissey's 6 Feet Rain at the top, there was Digging in the Dirt by Peter Gabriel, which was number 1 on September 26, 1992 for 2 weeks. But that is not the Peter Gabriel song we were talking about. But our next song we're talking about.
Wait, which Peter Gabriel song are we talking about?
We're talking about Steam, baby.
Wait, what's Steam?
Oh,
we'll find out. You're gonna find out.
Who's Peter Gabriel? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure we'll find out.
I am going to continue to be in agony until we get to Steam. There are about 4 songs I care about tonight, and the rest of it is just like, it's just waiting. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
Matty,
okay. Next song.
Before you play the song, you got to hit my stinger, buddy.
Oh, we're hitting the stinger. All right.
Oh.
Let's hit the fucking the stinger.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Warning. This is a certified Gavin 4903 top 10 song of the 90s. Prepare yourself for a goddamn bop.
Our next song is
by that.
Our next song is Blood Makes Noise by Suzanne Vega, which is number 1, October 10th, 1982 for 1 week. So let's hear a little bit of Blood Makes Noise.
Everyone's just vibing. Yeah, this song's just sick. Like, I have no real critical reason why I would put this in my top 10, but it is up there solely on vibes and the bass line, which is sick as hell.
One of the best discoveries of the series, I would say, because I think this one, I don't think anyone heard this one before we started like playing the series together, but this is fucking sick. I love this.
It's interesting how much it this is 92, that it like presages some of the stuff that would be more like mid-90s styles. Like, this sounds a little bit like the early Beck albums. This like reminds me of what Fiona Apple will be coming up with in a few years. This even reminds me of like Pepper a little bit, the Butthole Surfers breakthrough. Like, a lot of this kind of like,
you said Pepper, and I was like, is he gonna say plural? Is he gonna?
Yeah, how many peppers we talking here?
Yeah, so it's like that kind of like, I don't know, sample-based drums with like a groovy bass line. Molly was pointing at, I won't take your point.
Oh, that everyone grooved more in the 90s? We've abandoned the groove.
Yes, groove is no longer in our hearts.
I was
bring it back.
The same pun.
It's coming home, the groove.
Yeah, I would like to bring it back.
Yeah.
It's time for shit to get
no,
tasty.
it's just funny how it's funny how you can like hear those trends get like injected into the music sphere, and then people. I mean, I don't know enough about Suzanne Vega or this song to be like, this is the one that made things happen. But you hear that something like that the first time, and then like 3 years later, like half the alt or like indie pop songs are going to sound like that.
Yeah.
I should bring up the cool tidbit that Gavin mentioned with which song is it that
Tom's
you talked
Diner.
about?
That her
Tom's
big,
Diner.
her big one. Yeah.
That Tom's Diner, one of her big hits, was the song that was used by the people who invented the MP3 to like test their early like versions of it, basically saying that like he was saying something about like the production where he's like, if I can compress this song without it fucking it up, like that means I know I'm doing it because of some quality that the production had. And so like Suzanne Vega is secretly important to the invention of the modern MP3, which is cool.
And also Tom's Diner,
Mother of
sick
MP3s.
fucking song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is tight.
Catchy song. Yeah, no, this one's fun. And I was gonna say, yeah, it reminds me a hell of a lot of like Win the Pawn. What's the 2012 one? I can't.
Idler Wheel.
Yeah, very like the instrumentation, like all the clinging and the unusual instrumentation, like it sounds like the Sophie joke of the pots and pans, like but literally in the 90s. This is good as fuck. I like this. Great discovery from the series. Very glad we did not cut it from the list. Although our next song, not gonna lie, folks, maybe we should have cut this one. I'm not gonna. It's a big band, so it's kind of hard to make cuts when it comes to a band like
5
R.E.M.
weeks.
It was fun.
Yeah. 5 weeks.
There's some positive things. I'll say what I have to say.
I don't hate this song, but we'll get into it. So our next song is R.E.M's Drive, which is number 1 on October 17th, 1992 for 5 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Drive.
So
I have no idea why they released this as a single.
I have something very important that I realized about this song. So like I enjoy this song, it's fine. But the first couple of times I listened to it, I was like, all right, I'm enjoying this. It's a sort of slower ballad from them or whatever. But like what I realized about this song is every time it starts, I think that it's the start of Tribute by Tenacious D. And because of that, I can now no longer enjoy the song because every time I put it on, I'm like, I kind of wish this was Tribute. Like I would rather this just be Tribute by Tenacious D. So that's my biggest criticism.
It's so funny you say that because I had the exact same thought when we put it on today.
It's a similar chord progression, like the acoustic
chord
guitars.
progression, the picked like acoustic. Yeah, absolutely.
They're slightly different. Like if you listen to both of them side by side, which I did a couple times today, it's like not the same, but it's really definitely. I'm sure. I was talking about this with Gavin. Jack Black is essentially like if you combined Michael Stipe and Anthony Kiedis, like it's like the serious guitar guy stuff, but with the flibbity gibbets and all that stuff. Like that is the Jack Black DNA. And so now I understand. I like this song, and I've been enjoying R.E.M. more as I listen to this series because like as I have, I'm like, oh, like that's where Tom stole all of those things he was doing on OK Computer, and like I've learned to appreciate R.E.M.'s influence on a lot of other bands that I like, but I don't know. This is not one of my favorite songs of the list this week, partly because it's not Tribute by Tenacious D.
It's a bit of a snooze, isn't it?
It doesn't like. I was waiting for the point where it was gonna bust open and start going a little crazy. And whenever someone withholds that from me, I just feel annoyed and peeved.
The thing is,
5 weeks.
So
people were fucking down
People
as hell
loved
with Drive.
This song is the opener on Automatic for the People. The point is that the album busts out of it. Like it's just a slow build to Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight. Like it makes no sense as a single, and I love this song as the opener of that album, but on this playlist it was genuinely like annoying. It's such a dead zone. It kills the energy.
I just want to say this song, two things about this song real quick. The first one is I'm a cowboy on the steel horse I ride and I wanted dead or alive. That's all I hear when I listen to it. The second thing I want to say is that this song is essentially, to me, has been programmed to be dinner bell for my main meal, which is, of course, Steam by Peter Gabriel. Yeah, it's a snoozy song. I'm sure it works great in the context of the album.
But not a radio single. I don't understand. 5 weeks. Like I guess as a former
with Losing My Religion, like that song is a song that like if you look at it kind of on paper, you would say like this doesn't seem like a smash radio single, but that just like works as a pop song. And this one, I think just has the residual fumes of people being obsessed with R.E.M. and this being the single that was pushed to radio, and I don't think is like one of their best standalone songs.
Like, it feels like this was pushed to radio as a single in sort of reaction to the grunge movement, where it feels like, obviously it's not a grunge song, but it kind of has that same moodiness, but just doesn't have. Yeah. It's gloomy, but it doesn't have like that punch that a lot of the really great grunge songs of the era have. It's a really strange single.
The sound is very classic rock, and then the attitude is very moody in 90s, but the sound of the instrumental is very like traditional classic rock.
It's Stairway to Heaven, but then you don't actually go to heaven.
Yeah.
Halfway up the stairway. It's just a stairway
to fucking nowhere.
I was just looking up to see if it was like
stairway
featured...
to steam, folks. It's a stairway to steam.
Yeah. Right.
I was just looking up if it was like featured in like a TV show or something something like that would explain like a pop or something. I know it was like a different ecosystem there. Like that would make more sense if it was like an early 2000s single and it got like a key like the OC drop or something. So I was looking up if it was like in like I don't know Beverly Hills 90210 or something. But no, I don't know how. So I don't know how that broke through.
I guess it's just the power. Yeah, it's just the power of R.E.M. at the time. But even then, like R.E.M. are like, when it comes to like college radio and alternative rock, like they are one of the forefathers of this. Like at least in terms of radio, they're one of the forefathers of the genre. Like one of the first ones there at the time, and one of the few bands that was able to evolve with the times while not like basically completely changing who they were. They didn't go and make a Green Day album. They didn't go make a grunge album. They just kept being them. So.
They should have though. They should have done some Green Day shit.
I will say one more key tidbit I found about this song is that the song, when it was released as a single, had a B-side that was called Winged Mammal Theme, which is a reworking of the Batman theme that was originally going to be in Batman Returns, but the song went unused in the movie, so they released it as a B-side with Drive.
Oh, that rocks.
That's good.
So
we should have listened to that.
We really should have instead, but alas.
Oh god. But alas, oh god.
R.E.M. was the biggest band on earth at this point, and their last album had Losing My Religion on it, and this was their first new single after that.
Yeah, makes complete sense.
I think they could have released anything and it would have gone number 1 for 5 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, well,
it's time. It's time. We need to move
once
on.
again, I must reiterate to the listeners, I have not watched the video. Alex has not watched the video. Chris and Molly have not seen the video. And for Alex and I, it's been 4 months. It's been 4 months of Steam talk, and we only have like maybe 25% of the context just from the song itself.
We're reiterating this for the like 12 people in our Patreon Discord who have watched the Steam video. No one else knows what's going on here.
Yes, but Peter. So let's just back to the charts briefly. So after Drive, 10,000 Maniacs #1 on November 21st, 1992 for 2 weeks. With These Are Days, and then after that, Soul Asylum for 1 week on December 5th, 1992, with their song Somebody to Shove. But then after that, for 5 weeks on December 12th,
on Christmas Day,
one day after my birthday. My birthday is the 11th.
Oh my god! On December 12th, 1992, Peter Gabriel's Steam went #1 for 5 weeks. And usually, I just play a snippet of the song and then we discuss from there. But myself, Alex, Chris, and Molly, we're going to watch the video for the first time. So
if you are listening to this podcast right now and you have not seen the Steam music video, I need you to stop what you are doing, pull over the car if you are driving, and I need you to pull out YouTube and pull up the Steam music video, and I want you to hit play along with us because I need you to understand what we are experiencing and going through.
And we will, very important. And if you're a Patreon supporter, we will put this video of us reacting to Steam for the first time on the Patreon. So so hopefully if you're already supporting us, hey, you won't be totally lost the next day or whatever when this goes up. So I have the video downloaded. I have it pulled up. This is the highest quality version of the video I can find from like on Vimeo from like, I guess, the casting agent of the video. So we are just going to hit play, and Alex, we're gonna experience Steam, baby. We're gonna finally understand what the fuck y'all been out about for 4 months. So I'm hitting play on Steam right now.
I'm wondering if we'll all get fluid video from this, like even through the
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
If it's laggy at all, we'll...
yeah, it seems like it might be okay.
Okay. So again, this
I'm
comes from my
vibrating with anticipation.
yeah.
I'm worried standards may have
there
been
is
set too
literally
high.
there is
Steam.
No.
Steam.
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 There's like a literal countdown clock on this video.
Yeah.
I've never seen this version with the whole pre-roll. Oh yeah, when we start of course in the universe.
Go full screen.
Oh yeah, hang on.
It's a little slow, but it's fine.
Oh my god.
I'm just jamming.
This is literally the window looker. This is the window looker limo. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, he's so happy.
My last 20 brain cells.
Get him.
Oh my god.
How he's 43 when he makes this? Is that the number?
Yes, that's the number. Here we go.
Oh my god.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm whooping like I'm on Arsenio.
The mushroom.
The entire music video looks like Gary's mod. It's so great.
Oh no! Oh, get him out of here!
Uncle Andros, I failed
This
you.
is so cursed.
Oh, there's so many good
Oh, they're
segments in this
painting away
video.
Peter. Oh, they're painting him away. Oh,
Fading away.
oh, they're putting him on the.
That's actually a pretty cool effect.
That's a great effect.
Some of it is very like this is the sequel to Sledgehammer, so it's like some of it is impressive, but some of it is disturbing beyond belief.
This whole video is
not
very
his
like
That is not what he looks like.
Oh,
It
no.
only
Snapchat
it-
filter.
The crotch is sentient.
Yeah, we got some jock.
I would say it's like a 13-year-old who got a pirated copy of Photoshop and like what they would come out with it, but with using the most cutting-edge computer graphic technology of 1992.
It's so horny but so chaste at the same time. Like it's like a teenager's understanding of like horniness. Like oh, it's like
Yeah.
steam.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
This
Oh.
Oh,
Funny
you got
over here. You
hypnotized
need
by
to
the
understand.
Oh my god.
This is my virtual background right here. They literally rocked a set back and forth.
Holy shit.
Wait, this isn't a camera trick. They made a set.
No,
that
they
moved-
literally had 12 dudes like rocking it back and forth.
You could just move the camera. It's so much easier. That's what you do.
No, absolutely not. It has to cost $1 million.
Yes,
It's a
you
beautiful
do.
Do you get the symbolism? Like there's going to be a shot of the Pistons. Do you get it? Do you get it?
He's
Would you
so
believe the
brave
crew of the,
to make a
the
movie like
Lawnmower Man
this.
made this? Oh my
He's
god.
so brave.
It is how funny it looks right now, but I can imagine Peter Gabriel going to the premiere of this video and being like, "Damn, this looks amazing! You guys really killed it!"
It does look amazing.
The graphic designer guy who made it says he's very embarrassed by like half of it. Like a lot of it did not turn out the way
Chair! It's the Peter chair! Oh, it moved!
sentient Peter chair is the worst.
It's almost trying to be too competent because at certain places it has like an almost like Terry Gilliam-esque,
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like
the Lawnmower
kind of
Man.
like artful.
This part
sloppiness.
gets
Oh, no, I don't like it. Oh, God.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's literally the end of Star Fox, the Andros fight at Star Fox.
yes, exactly. Oh, the bridge.
Boss baby.
Oh, God.
Peter's
I love
down.
the kid to play young Peter, like, just fucking
And
sway your heart.
the old man is Peter's dad.
Seriously?
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That's gender, folks. This whole thing smacks of gender.
Oh, we're sticking Peter.
Oh God!
Then they just go overboard.
That he like just got divorced after this was like right before this.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I really do like this weird seesaw part.
The payoff of the baby tree is so good.
The brain of a child.
And then of course we go back to like celestial level.
Yeah, this is quantum.
Well,
isn't it crazy how
that's fucking wild.
That song feels like so long when you listen to it on Spotify as it's flown, and then when you watch the video, I'm like, this song should be 12 minutes long. It should never end.
Yeah, this should be a movie.
Oh, I have so many thoughts and feelings. What do you guys think, people who just watched it? I have all of my thoughts organized, obviously, but
I have seen hell.
Iconic, unbelievable, never been done before. I've no notes. 10 out of 10.
I mean, it's great. That's a wild video, and anybody who's not seen it should go look it up. It lived up to the hype, but it is also like somebody got like a copy of Maya or one of those 3D rendering programs like Maya 1.0.
Yes.
And just opened the demos folder and then just dragged one JPEG of Peter Gabriel into it and auto-populated all their demos with Peter Gabriel.
It's like somebody asked Peter, so Peter, like, what's your idea for this video? And he just said all of them, all of the ideas, whatever you got.
Yes.
Throw it at me. It is this video. Oh my god!
Peter Gabriel somehow got into the game Spore is like the best way I can describe it to you.
Listeners, for the first time, I am speechless. I don't know what the fuck to say about it.
I don't know how I'm going to continue the podcast after this.
I think the amazing thing about the video is that there's something about it that feels so disorienting and uncanny valley and like amateurish about it now. But the thing is that this music video cost so much fucking money.
Yeah.
And the guy that made this music video, Steven Johnson, is the guy who directed the Sledgehammer music video, which is like one of the most beloved, like it's a claymation music video and it's really well done and like people love it. And clearly this was like, we're doing that again. We're doing Sledgehammer again.
We're getting the team back together. We're doing Sledgehammer 2.
This time we're doing it in CGI, and clearly, like, Peter was asking Steven Johnson to do a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that probably was beyond the technical. I think of this the way people now talk about, like, the first 3 Star Wars movies. He's like, this guy is, like, boldly going where people... He was going to the moon before we had figured out all the technology, you know? Like, he was striving for something that was just not possible at the time, and I get why he says, like, yeah, I can't watch half of this music video because a lot of these things just did not get finished to a standard to which he was happy with. But like, I'm so glad it exists the way that it does.
Yeah,
it's fucking unreal.
I just want to do the impossible for a second and glance over the video. I did forget to tell Matty to play my stinger, but yeah, of course this is in my top 10. Like, I'm taking away
the song also rocks. We should also talk about the song.
Yeah, but I've linked Matty a lot of Steam lore. We don't have to watch it all. I would recommend the pop-up video, which a guy named Cristobal uploaded to Facebook.
The pop-up video is fucking incredible. It's one of those, like, every slide there's like a different
I don't know how
well
it would translate. I'm afraid the pop-ups may not make it in time due to
some of them are like, there's a point where it starts talking about like Steam related deaths or something like that. Like it goes in so many fucking directions, the pop-up video.
Well, we're still recording a video for this, so we might as...
Okay, well, I have a couple others.
We can talk over it while we... Just hit play, Matty.
We'll just hit play. We'll put it on the back, like, way in the background.
Yeah, we can read all of the pop-ups that come out.
Yeah. The fucking limo that is literally the fucking limo from the window licker video.
The director wanted to cram the video with as many, quote, things, unquote, as possible. Imagine asking for a product and being like, I need a lot of things in this. How many things can you put?
This is so good. Here we go. Peter's
About
not
the-
supposed to look like a pimp.
Well, they fucked
the
up.
best one. He literally looks. If you're not watching this at home,
Like
he
a
looks
Chris
like
If you
Jack
imagine that pimp in your head.
Jack Nicholson
That's how
Joker is the vibe.
That's how they sell the
directors
generic
of the video is full
Halloween
of
costume
images and
disco
symbolism.
party guy.
Oh, so they're just saying that things look like penises, hidden messages and symbolism. About the song itself, it's pretty good, but like the Morrissey song just makes me wish I was listening to the Smiths. This just makes me wish I was listening to Sledgehammer.
I
I
could
get
listen
that.
to this.
I do appreciate how Sledgehammer, while being probably a better pop song, this song is just so horny.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Peters. Okay, his head is Peters. Not Peters.
Yep.
That's
not his
awesome.
body.
Peter's Peter, folks. It's not his Peter.
I really love the baby tree and how they shoot it to make it look like they're topless while they're like going back and forth, and then when they cut wide, they're fully clothed and catching a baby out of a tree. It's so great. I love the dancing fire people.
This is. Oh.
Oh my god. Which stream of Peter do men say they notice first?
I know.
I'm
the
thinking about
answer.
those bazongas, baby.
Let's see eyes. Freak Peter's eyes. In your eyes. He has a song about it.
12 British longshoremen were rocking.
12 British longshoremen.
This is the only non-computer manipulated scene in the video.
So there's like, we
I mean,
need
it is
to do this. We need
it is
to
also
let Peter play a game of, you know what's that game you'd play in like elementary school when you're on the bus and you'd like slide back and forth? Like that is
Oh
what
my
they are
God.
doing.
Don't
A
you
two-
love when a woman jabs you with her
The
sharp
director
elbow
believes
and
that
hip?
steam is a metaphor for sex.
This is so good.
Scientists believe that steam is an invisible gas consisting of water vapor.
Learning about steam.
Believe?
I mean, it totally makes sense for the context of this video is that the one shot that is an easily achievable practical effect that you make the most elaborate way you could possibly pull off.
I mean, he's getting some amazing
This is the
bits
best
off
part.
of this
First
video.
animated cartoon.
Steamboat Willie.
This
Early
is-
steamboats could only achieve a speed of 8 miles per hour. More than 4,000 people were killed by steamboats in 1850.
Holy shit.
if I was in charge of the Congressional Film Preservation Society, you know how they induct important films every
Yes.
year? I would definitely put this on the list.
Yes.
This is an important document of like graphics, like CGI and graphics and filmic storytelling at a fulcrum point.
Oh, there's another great one coming up here. Another tidbit.
I like when his face is getting vacuumed. I
The
think that's my
director thinks
favorite.
he could be used to replace Peter in future videos.
Peter too.
Oh my god.
The young Peter just going the fuck off in the video.
I would also just like to know how the bridge is like Anthony Kiedis levels of nonsense. Backslap, booby trap, cover it up in bubble wrap, all that stuff.
Each day, Ralph Gabriel does yoga and spins on his head. Peter's dad.
Symbolic.
I
It's
mean,
literally symbols, so yes.
It's like symbolism in Austin Powers.
this one, I really like this shot.
If you remember, he had just cut the strings of his 18-year marriage.
Oh, wow.
Rosanna
Yes.
Arquette.
I love to get divorced and also have a breakup at the same time. That's normal.
He consulted both the exes before he put out the album.
Peter's no
Peter is known for his politeness.
The air quotes.
Oh man.
He won the Grammy for Best Short Form Music Video.
As
I mean,
he
it should have. It really does. It pulls out all the stops.
The
Ripped
fucked
by
up
Little
part. The fucked up part at the end is when it says that
Shouts out to
he's
Little
still
C.
waiting for his statues from the video music. Like he didn't get them from Peter, which is fucked up.
Hashtag get Peter his statues.
That's not very polite.
That
to
is not very polite.
Not hand those over.
I think it's Steven that doesn't have the statue, but
Gavin, what do we watch? What do we watch next?
I think we should watch his Grammys
A
performance.
little bit of the Grammys performance before we
Okay.
move on is necessary.
Oh, is he
because
wearing the pimp suit?
He
he's
recreates
wearing a little bit more than that.
so much
Fun
of the music
disco
video.
party, man.
This opened the Grammys.
No.
He's being carried on a throne.
The way that he like falters with his vocals throughout this is just the funniest thing in the world to me. I can't deal with this video. It's so good. It looks like he's wearing like a buff suit. Like, does he have like padded muscles?
You'll
on?
see.
He's got a goose suit on. All right, he's a little buff boy. He's
Yeah,
going
he's
to
a little buff.
He's got a goose competition right after
He's
this.
carved.
He's carved.
He's a carved piece of beef.
He's a little brick, little brick shit house.
Troll boy Peter Gabriel.
The Marilyn Manson dancers to emphasize steam.
I wish they had actually done the shoes from the video. Those
Yeah.
are not the shoes from the video.
I love the falsetto that he does. It's so great.
I'm texting my girlfriend right now. I am a changed man.
Yeah, this changes people. I've this is not a joke. I've watched every Steam-related video on YouTube.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, if you're wondering what's going to replace the Gautier Gauntlet for the 90s series, be prepared for the Steam marathon, I guess.
I've watched everything but the Steam marathon as to keep myself. But yes, there's good stuff coming for the stream, folks. Be prepared.
My number one recommended video is Understanding Peter Gabriel.
He's got as Molly pointed out, he's got a sledgehammer.
Got a
Yeah.
sledgehammer.
Can't help but notice those
There's the steam.
two giant poles behind him. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
this thing is an important
Yeah.
document of American culture. It's
Yeah.
just really something.
This is so.
He looks so
unhinged.
incredibly uncomfortable, just
He's-
kind of standing and moving.
It's
I
about
mean,
a
he's
couple-
got,
it's about a
he's got too
couple-
much shit on him.
Oh wait, hang on.
He's got too much
being
shit
in
on
the
him.
audience for this and like not
Yeah.
having seen the video and being like, what is going on right now?
There goes his sleeves.
Someone
Oh, yeah.
choreographed this.
Oh, he's wearing a goose suit. He's
Yeah.
wearing a goose suit.
He is wearing a goose
The
suit.
story-
Oh, that's a nice trick.
The story is that he also had the Speedo on underneath, but he saw his 60 soul singer idols in the crowd and refused to take the pants off. So,
Oh my god.
He was already being enough of a clown that he
Yeah.
was like,
That's the great thing about my man Peter is that like he's a great musician but he's like not okay with just like being a nerd who makes music. Like he clearly needs people to think he's a cool pimp, and it makes for incredible content. It really
not
does.
a pimp, disco party guy.
This
Not
goes
a
hard.
pimp.
Excuse me.
Not a pimp.
I'm so sorry, Peter.
Okay.
That's about enough of that.
Yeah,
He's a
th-
disco
that's
party
that's
guy.
enough Steam video content. But do we have any other thoughts? Because I mean,
I mean, how long can we go here? I mean, the song bangs. Like, this is a good song. I've listened
we
to it
haven't
so
talked a
much.
lot about the lyrics, which are all insane. All
Yeah.
of the lyrics to this song are insane, and like I was talking about, like it's so horny, but like it doesn't top PG-13 ever. Like there's very clearly a ceiling on, but then he's so obvious with every single visual quote unquote symbolism. It's a lot.
He's very what if we had sex and I was a trained JK unless
Yeah.
Oh.
I love him. I love this.
Yeah, this is amazing. Like,
New
this
type
is...
of guy dropped, honestly.
that is the thing. As much as we like have been clowning on the olds for a lot of this series and being like, get these people that are doing bad 80s runoff out of here, get us to the good 90s stuff. Like, we have to admit that Peter is not at all trying to conform to the charts in a way that works for him this time. It doesn't just feel like, I mean, it's a little bit just a recycle of his Peter Gabriel 80s stuff, but like he's going for it here. You cannot deny that Peter is going for it in a way that I cannot say the same about other bands on this list we'll talk about later.
Yeah. I mean, if you want more from this, there's something wrong with you. This gives you everything.
He left it all on the
I don't
floor.
even want to be around anymore.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Look, so again, I like whatever thoughts I was gonna have about this song are just out the fucking window now because of the video. But the song is good. I think the song is a lot of fun. It's got, as Chris was saying, the song's got some groove to it. You know, like it is, like it's Peter Gabriel. You know, does like white guy funk. You know, like it's. Fun.
I will say my only criticism of the song that I had before I discovered the video was I was like, this song does not need to be 6 minutes long because it's kind of repeating the same musical idea throughout. But I will totally cop to if you're watching it on the music video, it genuinely feels like I don't notice.
I think it's a little bit shorter. I think
it's a shorter version of the song,
but it's still like 5 minutes long. It's
still 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
So many verses, but the thing is also that every verse has at least one insane lyric, and then each one of those insane lyrics gets turned into some elaborate CGI visual gag or 12 British longshoremen pushing. I just love how I love the shower scene and all the people with the towels and how like weirdly like, ooh, we're rubbing shoulders together, like how erotic, like
they're shoving buddies.
It's
also so strange because it looks so different from every single other scene in the video.
Yes.
Like just by virtue of its real life, you know?
It's so clear that Peter was like, okay, I know we're doing this whole video in CGI, but I need to rub shoulders with some hotties. Like, can we write this into the script, please?
It's like, I'm 43 years old.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, Gavin. Go ahead, Gavin.
If you're curious what the people who made this video did afterwards, TLC Waterfalls is your answer. So complete swag on their end.
On one hand, I don't want this. I don't George Lucas Star Wars original movies. Don't do that to this. But at the same time, I would love, like the Corridor Digital guys. I would love to hand them this video. I would love to hand them this video and be like, fix this video.
Yes.
Oh my god,
I would die for that.
Maddie, if you start a Twitter movement at them, or like pick a video to comment.
I will send this video to them being like, you guys need to react to this. Like,
if you want to get a little movement going, because Molly and I are also big Corridor fans, so we would juice that.
We would juice that.
Please, folks. We have to pass the steam pill off to anyone we can. Everyone needs to know about this video.
Grant owns the VHS. I haven't mentioned that. Grant bought the VHS to this video on eBay.
Which, by the way, Grant.
Oh yeah, that's a.
I would also like to.
Grant is Gavin's twin brother.
Yeah, goth of the pod.
We should also shout out Steven Johnson, the guy who directed the music video and also directed the music video for Road to Nowhere by Talking Heads and also Walk of Life by Dire Straits and also Sledgehammer and Big Time. Like, he's a cool dude. He died in 2015. Shout out to him. Shout out to him for attempting.
We are going to carry your legacy on, sir. We are going to carry your legacy on.
We talk about him like we talk about the story of Icarus. Like, he flew too close to the sun. And we have to respect him for trying. Because he was a stop motion guy. Like, CGI was not his thing. But Peter's like, you can't do the stop motion again, so you've got to do something new. And you've got to try this thing that is not even a fully formed technology yet. And we should salute him for giving it a shot.
Yeah.
God bless those like first generation or two of music video directors and the leeway they had to just try some wild shit. Because the first like decade of music videos just is so great and has so many examples of videos with like just weird cinematic grammar in a pop context, like that you wouldn't really see in that.
Yeah.
That popularly have consumed of short films ever before or since, and there's so much good stuff there.
Yeah, it was really
it sucks that like
helping create new filmmakers because like there was just so much fucking money in it at the time, and so like that was the way David Fincher could be given like a couple $1 million to fuck around with and just do something with, and of course he took all advantage of that with every
and also
video.
Michael Bay also got to start directing music videos.
It sucks that it feels like even when people take real big swings with music videos right now, the inspiration seems to be largely drawn from, I don't know, like, and Molly, tell me if I'm wrong here, like high fashion photography more than anything.
David LaChapelle.
Just like
making
big gaudy images and filming them well rather than being like, all right, so what even is a movie, and how do edits work, and like how do I put images in sequence to like combine them to make logic in people's head? Do we need to create logic? Let's think about these things, stuff like that.
Yeah, because when you don't really need like narrative cohesion at all, and you're just creating images to go under music that people already like you can really go hog wild with like the visual language of it in ways that it is just like we should be tapping into that more. But no one's gonna spend money to put a music video that's gonna go on YouTube. Like it was only useful in this very one specific gold rush era. But I mean, I would love to see people get more ambitious with that kind of stuff. I mean, we've seen some people like do really creative things with like visuals and stuff. But
look,
I admire this a lot.
If you're an aspiring music video director, download Blender and just fuck around with it, and then that's your video.
No, download
Just
Gary's
open-
mod.
Download Gary's mod.
Download Blender, open all the presets and demos folders, download some JPEGs of Peter Gabriel's face, and just throw them in there and see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I want to point out something I found on DeviantArt, which is a printoutable paper model of Peter Gabriel's face on a train that you can print out and cut and fold and all that good stuff. I don't have a printer. I can't make one. If you want it, I'll send you the link. Just at me on Twitter and send me a picture of your Peter train at home. But aside from that, I want to say that this is basically Peter Gabriel machinima. I love it, and I don't want this song or this video to ever end. It could end up my number one, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna move on, but I guess we gotta let's try our best to move on to our next song, which is
man, my poor boys.
Med's Atomic Dustbin with their song Not Sleeping Around, which is number one on January 16th, 1993 for 1 week. So let's listen to a little bit of Not Sleeping Around real quick. Are they a Manchester band?
Yeah, they're British.
Of the Manchester stuff we've listened to through the series so far, this is my favorite of the bunch.
This is a very solid song that I have forgotten what sounds like every single time I've listened to it, because coming after Steam, my brain is just like, I'm not able to retain any of this, even though it is like not offensive to me in any way.
The cursed position.
Yeah, they
I feel
fucked
bad
from the
because belly gets fucked a little bit by post-Steam fatigue too, but I'll have my belly speech in a minute. This song's fine. I'm sure that this band is good, and Gavin and other people I like have vouched for them, but I don't know, it's whatever.
Did I see on their Wikipedia page they have two bassists?
Yes, they do. They have a guy.
So
who
that's
plays bass
a
melody.
yes from me.
I mean,
I wish they had three.
I'm interested. You have
I'm listening. I'm
listening. But I feel like the two bassist strategy doesn't. It doesn't really play out in that recording. But maybe they have other songs that are more two bass forward.
Yeah, I was the person who vouched for this to get it on here because I do like this band. This is a which I think this subject will come up again. This is a victim of the band's best song not going number one for some reason, and an inferior song that was released later or just for whatever reason go number one. It's not a good. It's fine, like it's not bad, but any high you could get from this song or anything you can enjoy from it is just post-Steam brain fog is so real. It's insane, and I think it affects like the next like 5 songs.
Yeah, seriously.
30% of listeners have what is known in the medical community as long Steam effects.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that it sounds like a lesser Love and Rockets song, and I like Love and Rockets a lot, so it's good, but it's like, this goes to my like earlier point that this is just like all of these are just like diamond mediocrities, other of course than Steam, like songs that are like good, but it just reminds me of something better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, Neds. Should have been Grace.
Sorry, Neds.
Yeah.
Fine song, a little one note, but it's fun. But again, it's coming right after Steam. I can't have any thoughts on this. But hopefully we have some thoughts on our next song as we enter the car commercial interlude of the week.
Never stay
Oh my god. Thank you. Give it away, boings.
Thank you, Barely March, once again.
I don't know what we would do without Barely March. We love our boy so much.
A blessing he is.
Oh my god. Well, our car commercial.
This song doesn't deserve that. This song does not deserve that intro, but that's my opinion.
Our car commercial interlude of the week is I Don't Know How, But They Found Me's Leave Me Alone, which went number 1, I believe, on, January 16th, 2021 for 1 week. So let's hear a little bit of I Don't Know How. I don't know how they found. It's Leave Me Alone, folks.
I like this band name, actually.
I think you fucked up big time by putting this on Steam Week. It's too sonically similar,
little bit,
but
yeah.
it ain't Steam.
It's the same instrumental palette, and it sounds exactly the same as those Big Data and Joywave songs we talked about on the car commercial.
And I like those songs. So this kind of I think
this
it's
is just bad
that.
Steam.
I have a lot of patience for this kind of, like, when we were doing the car commercial number 1, this kind of, like, whatever, like, synth pop, but I find this very obnoxious, and I also think that, I don't know, the band name's fine, but, like, this is the project of a former Panic at the Disco member, at least one half of it is, and, like, I don't know, I really get sick of, like, bands that have very, like, artsy names and track listing and, like, minimalist art, and then their albums are just, like, boring pop rock. It's just, like, just be proud of being boring. Don't, like, try to put an artsy sheen on like, whatever, just doing, like, an okay synth pop song. It's fine. This one also gets hit with the Steam fog, but I also didn't really like it on its own.
Give me Steam.
I feel like now that I know that this is a ex-Panic member, I have to give critical support for this track to as it has comparatively to the stuff that the main Panic
that is fair. I will give you
this
that.
is like, you know, this is like listening to Mozart after being subjected to, like, sonic torture.
I fucking love this song, honestly. Like, that's gonna be a lot of this episode, is, like, especially the second half. It's a couple songs where, like, either I really like them but everyone else hates them, or ones where it's just like, I don't know, I'm vibing, everyone's like, no, you're wrong, fuck you. All right, like, I don't know where our wires got crossed, everybody. Like, I don't know, but this song, it slams me. I think it's a fun new wave rip. Like, I will say that this current crop of car commercial music coming after the 2010s, there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's a lot of hidden gems, I think. Well, not really hidden because it's big on radio.
Better, Matty, we saw how low the bottom got in the 2010s. Like, being better than that, we shouldn't be, like, patting. Like, I agree. Like, if we had this song.
Look, I like good pop music, and this is good pop music to me.
Matty, don't you throw that shit at me. Like, of course I like pop music. I like the Killers, Matty. I like new wave ripoffs. I am a fan of that in concept. I don't like this song.
I think it's funny that we're waiting for the 80s to end during the 90s series, and this song is number 1 in 2021.
And the fucking Kate Bush cover in 2021.
Yeah,
the 80s are just back.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, not really. It's a bunch of different people, but...
Yeah.
Anyways,
How am I supposed to care about anything else after you show me that?
I hope we can get you to care about the next thing.
Well, again, we're ending off with a heater. I think
we've got some heat saved for the end of it to help. Otherwise, the episode would have just completely tipped over. But we've got some stuff to talk about toward the end of it. Let's get moving on so I can get my manifesto out. Again,
I like it. I recommend it. But, you know, if you didn't enjoy it, you know, I get it. More power to you. It's no Steam, okay? It's no Steam by Peter Gabriel, okay?
Nothing is, though.
Nothing is. Our next song, though, so after Ned's Atomic Dustbin's 1 week reign at the top, Jesus Jones number 1 for 6 weeks with The Devil You Know on January 23rd.
Jesus Jones! Now that was a band.
God, we listened, so we cut this song because we already put Right Here, Right Now on the playlist, and that seems to be the more iconic Jesus Jones song. But after Jesus Jones ran the top, Belly went number 1 with their song Feed the Tree on March 6, 1993 for 3 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Feed the Tree.
I'm just so happy already. I love this band so much.
I'm so sorry, Jackie.
If I speak, so I'm going to LA in August for a visit before I move. If I say anything about this song, my travel plans are going to be severely disrupted if I speak about this song.
It's just post Steam for me. Like it's just
Honestly,
it was never gonna happen.
Matty, you don't have to be nice to this song because the caveat I will give is that this is like my 8th favorite Belly song, maybe like my 9th favorite Belly song. This is not like I love this song more than anything, but I think this band is one of, if not the most underrated bands of the 90s, and I think this first album, but then especially their follow-up album King, is like some of the best 90s indie rock you'll find out there. If you follow me on twitter.com, you've probably seen me posting about Belly in the last 2 months because I've gotten even more obsessed with their work than I already was. But like, I just really wanted to come on the episode to talk about this band in particular because they are a band that, especially on their second album, feels like so foundational to the kind of 90s inflected indie rock that we're getting right now. Like, if you listen to Seal My Fate and Super Connected and songs like that, it sounds like proto Charlie Bliss and Japanese Breakfast and like a lot of power pop and indie rock bands right now that sound like the 90s but in kind of a fresh new way. And I just think that Tanya Donnelly, who is the front woman and lead songwriter of this project, who also was in the band Throwing Muses and also was in the Breeders for a while and plays guitar all on Pod, the Breeders album, which I love. She's the best. Tanya Donnelly fucking rules, and all of Belly's music is good. You should go listen to it. But Feed the Tree was their one big song that got picked up by MTV and kind of fucked up their career because then they became an MTV band, and the people that liked the weird stuff on the first album were like, oh, this band sold out. But then also this band is a little too weird to become like a mega pop success on MTV. And for whatever reason, King just completely belly flopped, even though that album has like just 8 perfect hooks on it. Like, King is seriously one of the best pop rock indie albums of the 2010s, just banger after banger after banger. I will shut up about this band. They're great. You should go listen to them.
Give me Steam.
Here's like, this song's fine, but it is the post Steam break, like,
yes,
the post Steam.
I understand. I do not hold it against anyone for not having a lot. I mean, this is not one of
For
the
not
most
having
exciting.
taste.
It's not one of the most exciting songs. Like, I will give you that. It's like, it doesn't have anything in it that can fully wake you up out of the days you're in post Steam. And so if you don't have a relationship with it like I already do, like, I understand not connecting with it.
It feels a little like that Suzanne Vega song in that it feels like it precedes a lot of things that would be even more popular immediately afterwards, even thinking about like a few years later, like Alanis or Jewel, that it seems like it should be a contemporary with those more mid-90s huge like blockbuster women pop songs, but it's still, I guess, at this time more rooted in the indie alt college rock.
Coffee shop.
This
is some coffee shop.
It's 1992, guys.
Or alternatively,
Starbucks. We're all drinking at Starbucks, and people are mad about it because it's not real.
Coffee shop
whatever
or
happened to
copy
regular coffee,
shop
right?
also. Some Xerox vibes.
Xerox.
Where can I get a cup of tasted coffee?
Well,
coffee flavored coffee.
If you're at a place where you can get a cup of coffee flavored coffee, they're probably playing the Belly album.
Yeah, that's
1992.
Yeah, we talked about the that song by the Sundays from, I think, week 1 that was really good, and that song. There are a couple Belly songs, some of their slower stuff on King that sound just like that Sundays song. Like, that bag of like coffee shop 90s indie rock is like, I'll eat that shit up with a spoon. I'm very.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Like, this song is not bad. It's kind of like the Ned song where it's just getting swallowed up by my brain. You know, it's just suffering from that.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's move on then. Let's move on to our next song. Coming back to the charts, it's Depeche Mode with "I Feel You," which went number 1 on March 27th, 1993, for 5 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of "I Feel You."
More like I feel poo. Am I right?
Shut up, Gavin. I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you very mad. I think this is my favorite song of the week.
This is the worst song of the week.
This is my favorite of the week. Even with Steam, it's my favorite of the week. I'm just vibing the fuck out with this song.
What if Trent Reznor and the racist Billy Crystal Bluesman character got together for a collab? It's just.
I said earlier in the chat today, like, I was willing to soften my stance on this song being bad, and then the song just keeps going and going and going, and I understand if you're vibing, like, that's what you want it to do, but I do not. I find that it just repeats the same idea over and over again, and especially as a band that, like, I know can do better than this just feels particularly, like, redundant and also not their bag. Like, it feels like they've done this better, but also that this is them kind of, like, I don't know, like, the bluesiness of it I'm not into.
Baby's first guitar riff over and over and over again.
It's just also funny that here in like 1992, it's like England still winning, Morrissey, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, what are we? The Depeche Mode, New Order.
Yeah,
there's one more in this week, right?
Tears for Fears. Fucking Tears for Fears.
It's like half this thing is just like we're still listening to 80. It's 1992, and what you think? What do you?
It's 1993. We're in 93 at this point.
Oh, we're in 93. What do you think is dominating? Nirvana and the grunge breakthrough and shit like that. No, we're still listening to sad British synth rock, basically from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the narrative that, like, you know, we're always told about Nirvana is that Teens, like, you know, Smells Like Teen Spirit comes out and the landscape changed almost immediately. All these bands that were famous, just their careers are over and done. But then you look at the charts and you're like, I mean, Nirvana didn't really make their big, you know, it wasn't until, like, I guess it's not until later in this year that, like, you actually start to see that change happen. Where I think I will say it feels like In Utero, like, once that came out, that was like, okay, if this is a big hit, then this genre is here to stay, and we kind of have to go with the times. You know, I think I honestly, like, obviously this is completely theorizing. This is just based on my knowledge of working for a college radio promotions company and doing college radio for a number of years. It feels like promoters were not ready to make that big shift yet. They didn't know if it was, you know, it was like they're going to play this stuff, but they're not ready to put it, you know, they're not ready to play it so much that it's going to hit number 1. It wasn't really until In Utero and, like, Pearl Jam and more of those bands came to see where it was like, okay, so this is a big commercially successful genre. Yeah. We need to hop on the train. You know, they should have hopped on the train a lot sooner, mind you, but, like,
I think that's pretty consistent throughout. Like, if we think right now, like obviously, like, if you think about the really forward thinking stuff, there's of course all kinds of people that are like, oh, but let's try to stick and keep putting out, like, Olivia Rodrigo type stuff. Like, no offense to her, who that album's fine, but, like, there's always going to be people that are going to be like, wait, can we just turn the clock back like a few years and do that thing that was making us money 5 years ago? And, like,
we're doing that for the 80s still.
I agree. It lasted way too long here in this particular instance, but, like, I think that I understand why the people that are in charge of the labels are like, we need to be shown proof that this can work over and over again before we're willing to invest our time and money into this, and that's why you see this stuff be so damn stubborn sticking around.
It's very degenerate. It just, taken as a block, this chunk of songs does have the whole vibe of someone going, I don't know what's coming out of Manchester now.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, you just pick it, throwing all those guys like, Depeche Mode's got another single. Yeah, sure. Morrissey's still kicking around, whatever he's got on there.
In the pop cycle, this would be the Doldrums. This is post.
We should be talking about Creep this week. Like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
No, you need the other dour gents from England. Not the old dour gents from England, the new dour gents from
England. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Well, look, I like this song. I think it's a fun
we're going to be talking about this same
Depeche
topic.
Mode rip. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got many better songs than this. And the other band we're about to talk about, this is going to be the same conversation, but slightly different.
Yes. But yeah, so our next song is New Order's Regret, which was the number one song on the alternative charts for 1993. So this is number one for the whole year when it all came down to it. Number one initially on March 1st, 1993 for 2 weeks, and then Depeche Mode's Walking My Shoes number one for a week in between on May 15th. And then May 22nd went number one once again for 4 more weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Regret from New Order.
This song is fine. It has the ugliest cover art I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my god, we need to talk about the cover art and the album, which like you were talking about, like we were just talking about like resistance to change and like the 80s sticking around. This album for New Order is them being like, fuck, we've got to switch up our thing. And so the whole album is like rave music, trip hop, like all of this like old 90s stuff, I mean new 90s stuff, but then like the very first song on the album is Regret, which is basically like New Order going like, okay, we're gonna try some new stuff, but first let me give you an 80s New Order song so that you're happy and like that you're not worried about and so like the rest of the album is like pretty cool actually. Some of the stuff really works, some of it is like tacky and kind of doesn't, but like this song is just it's good, but there are 80s New Order songs that just do exactly this better, and so I can't really stand up for it as like I was saying to Gavin in the chat, like New Order are a band for me that is like Interpol, where like they're so exactly my kind of flavor of thing that even when they are phoning it in, I'm having a very enjoyable time. Like they can give me a 7 out of 10 anytime they want, and I will gladly accept it, even though I will gladly concede that this is not like a great New Order song by any means.
Again, like all these, New Order are also like some of my guys, but this also just reminds me of better New Order songs. I totally agree. Even a lame New Order song is like not bad, but it's like I don't know. I'm not really getting anything out of here. The funniest part about this, or the most fun part, is that they're still doing like bass solos in the middle, like still like jamming out like melodic bass solos in the middle instead of guitar parts.
I worked at the Wiltern before I got shut down for COVID. I worked a Peter Hook in the Light show, and I learned
they're pretty good.
They're pretty good. I learned that I'm not a big enough New Order fan to enjoy Peter Hook by himself as like a singer songwriter, but like he still was ripping those damn bass solos. Like he's a good musician.
I've seen the Light, and it's fun. It is a curio because it is like like all of the classic songs you love the most. Strip everything away down to the bass being the most important things, and every one of these songs rearranged to be bass focused.
Yeah,
but I don't know, if you're a hardcore fan, it's worth a see.
Yeah, like this song, it's fine. Of these like 80s bands, basically sort of seeing this electronica wave pop up and sort of trying to incorporate that in their own music, it's one of the better ones. Although the backstory that I learned about this album and about this song, this is like the only song they like off this record, like one of the only ones they like. Pretty much this entire record was made to save their label, because at the time Creation Records was like, about to shut down. Like shit was not going good with Creation. This is a couple years before Oasis, so shit's not going well. And so the band's like, we gotta get the band back together. We gotta save our label, and that's what this album was. It was sort of a last ditch effort to sort of save the label, which it worked, because obviously a few years later they would have probably some of their biggest, if not their biggest, success ever with Oasis. But this song's fine. But again, as you said, Chris, it just reminds me of better New Order songs. And I'm not even that in New Order. Like, it's just like, it's diamond mediocrity. It's like, yeah, it's fine, but like, give me the good stuff. Where like the first song of next week is fucking No Rain by Blind Melon. Like, give me that. It's time. It's time to kick the olds out. Let's get these new kids in here.
I will say, even though it is funny that like it kind of does track that this is like them trying to save their label, because like every single song on Republic is like, what's a trend that's happening in dance music right now, and how do we make a New Order song out of that? and so like it's a very mixed bag, but like there are some bangers on here. Spooky is a song that sounds like it's trying to be a Chemical Brothers song, and it rocks. Ruined in a Day is a very good kind of slower trip hop type thing. There's some good songs on there. It's worth checking out if you're a New Order fan and have never spent. I will agree, the cover is bizarre, and I have no idea what them damn Brits were trying to communicate with the burning house and the beach thing, I guess. Contrast or whatever.
It looks like something out of like a science textbook or something.
It does. That's exactly what it looks like.
If I remember correctly, this would be a couple years after New Order basically hung out in Ibiza doing the brand new drug MDMA for like 3 years straight. So I honestly feel that in this song. They sound a little tired.
They do.
They need to replenish their serotonin.
Well,
I just want to say my personal history with the band New Order, which is the only connection I have to them, is that a guy I used to fight with on the internet when I was 13 years old because he didn't like Family Guy and I did, murdered a guy to a New Order song and filmed it and put it on the internet.
Christ.
So
what?
Holy shit!
What the fuck?
Have you guys seen the Netflix documentary "Don't Fuck with Cats"?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, well, I used to argue with Luca Magnotta online.
It's that guy.
Yeah, when I was a child.
You've told me that you used to fight with that guy, but I didn't realize that he murdered a guy to a New Order song.
Yeah,
Holy
he was listening to True Faith. I'm not gonna, we don't need to go too into this. It's very
Jesus
sad.
Christ.
But I used to argue with him when I was a child. There's a video, very 2006 animation video of me and Grant and several other people like fighting him in a Mega Man level, and it's like Stewie Griffin beats him up too, and I think in the end he turns into Hitler. Like I said, it's 2006. I'll try to find it.
It sounds like you were a hero, Gavin. It sounds like you were trying to let us know that this guy was up to no good.
Yeah, he did a lot of fucked up shit. Don't Wikipedia him. But I used to dick around with him, but not because he did anything evil, just because he didn't like Family Guy and I did. So Family Guy saves.
Look,
I'm wearing my
murder I can excuse. Family Guy slander, I draw the line.
Yeah. Look, bad guy. But sorry to bring that up.
Fucked.
That's so
Holy
fucked.
Shit.
Well,
we're about to talk about Perry Farrell. I don't know. I don't know if I have like the constitution to defend Perry Farrell now.
Well, speaking of fucked, our next song is "Porno" for Pyros Pets, and of course,
well, that's fucked, man. Why would you give porno to Pyros?
Yeah.
That just seems like a recipe for disaster. Those people need to be segmented out and given treatment, not pornography.
Yeah, it's one of the most fucked up things you can do to a person.
Oh god! Notably, this band was Perry Farrell's post Jane's Addiction band. So let's. This song also has been breaking the chat for the last week or so. It's been, Gavin, how many spins do you have clocked on this song right now? Like 37?
Jesus, something like that, probably more.
I can't.
Let's hear a little bit of Porno for Pyros Pets.
My friend. Highly recommend the Woodstock '94 performance.
Oh my god, yes.
Of this song.
Should I pull that up?
Perry starts it by saying gay rights.
In a way.
You need to click on the 8-minute long version.
He runs around with a clown.
Yeah.
Let's just listen to this. Let's listen to his speech before we get into actually talking about this song.
And then you have to play his speech at the end too. We don't have to listen to the song.
Yeah, I'll fade the song out. I will say, like, I must be Perry pilled because I was just kind of, this song didn't do. It's fine. I was just kind of vibing with it. It's not breaking my brain like it's breaking Gavin's.
He's just vibing about dinosaurs and aliens over like a really just simple instrumental while doing some of the most labored singing I have ever heard in my life.
Well, before we get into the song, let's hear Perry's speech. This is from Woodstock '94.
And that is the wave of the future. We want interracial marriages. We want homosexuality, heterosexuality, bisexuality. We gotta
That's
mix
right.
it up.
You
That's
gotta
the way
mix
we
it
all
up,
love
guys.
each other.
We gotta mix it up.
Yeah, y'all purists, you're gonna die out anyway.
Not correct.
You're outnumbered because we're all here and we ain't going anywhere.
That's right, Perry.
Right on.
Right on.
And then there's another speech at the end.
Gotta mix it up.
It's
We
pretty
gotta mix
good.
it up.
He's very. I watched his Howard Stern. Not that far, like in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, right about the time that guy shows up. Yeah,
Oh
let's
god.
see what he has to say. He speaks on aliens.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I think this song could be in my bottom 10 and top
When you
10.
go to bed tonight, when you pray for your mother, when you pray for your father, pray that the aliens come and teach
There's
us
a clown.
how to live right.
God, this guy has so many chimes on this drum.
There's so many chimes in this song. That's why.
He's just a clown. Just
Pray the aliens come and teach us how to live right.
here we go.
Do you know what crop circles are? Crop circles. Crop circles are no accident. They're trying to tell us something.
Speak on it, Perry.
They have figured out the formula for chaos. Chaos is a beautiful thing.
People are fucking crowd
Moshing
surfing.
to this.
Mob
Chaos
surfing
is
to
a ladder.
this.
If there's
threw his
a light
mirror-
at the can. Yeah, that's all we need from that.
Oh.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, he's embodying one of my favorite types of rock stars, which is that he's on stage in front of like 100,000 people. But if he was doing the same thing and you saw him on the street, you would give him like a wide berth.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love that vibe.
This this is something. Like I do think it's terrible, but I love Danzig and Matt Skiba and all those guys, and just there's something. I watched his Howard Stern interview, and he said that he talks to aliens every day, and that the aliens know who Howard Stern is, and like I'm so into that vibe that I love it and I hate it.
I will admit, his presence is hilarious. This song is funny and has become funnier to me over time.
He calls old people elderlies.
And I think that's great. I still think this is the worst song we've talked about in any of the playlists. This is my least favorite song we've discussed so far. I think it is grating, and it gets stuck in your head by force, and then I'm walking around all day with it stuck in my head, and I'm like, get out of here, be gone, foul creature. Like, I just... The cowbell is so frustrating to me. Like, I understand, like, this song starts out okay. There's like a little guitar lick, and you're like, that's fine. And if you're like imagining like a little plane is this song, it gets up like 10 feet off the ground, it wobbles a little, and then it just takes a nosedive, and then it sets on fire. Like, every second.
But
past
a
15
UFO
seconds-
comes down and saves everyone on
every
the plane.
second past the first 15 seconds of the song gets worse and worse and worse and worse until it ends. And I think it is just like, I think the chorus is so grating, and the fact that you and Rose have just been replying, we'll make great pets over and over and over again.
Torrance with a typewriter. We'll make
How many times do they sing in the song? It's probably like 100 at least. Like,
yeah.
He just
let me check. Let me find the Genius page and see if I can do a Control F and kind of get an idea.
No, but on the Genius page, like half of the lyrics are like ×4 or ×8. Like, you have to count them all.
Well, we'll just add it up.
We'll just add it up. I'm not going to look it up right now. I don't feel like it.
I find this song
Read all the lyrics to
insufferable.
Space Jam and New Legacy's lyrics.
This song is bad, and Perry Farrell is. I know, Gavin, you've stuck up for Jane's Addiction and Dave Navarro, and I understand your mom thinks Dave Navarro is the devil. I think that's
Of course.
but
Yeah.
but I cannot condone Perry Farrell as a musician in any way, shape.
Like I understand,
form.
but that's kind of why this is working.
I don't disagree 100% with you. Like, I understand the perverse appeal of this song. I understand.
Perry Farrell smoked weed for the first time and had like the most basic thoughts about life and existence and other species
I
ever.
will say this is like proto, like this is like MGMT if MGMT had no musical talent, is what it reminds me of.
Wow,
Kind
that's
of.
good.
Okay, Gavin, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but this feels very much. It feels like Perry Farrell wanted to be a part of like that '90s jam band scene, but he's just too much of like. He's still got too much of that weird like.
But then he would just
Weird.
fundamentally not understand it because the instruments
Exactly.
are not jamming. But he's
Exactly.
like, I'm the only one who can jam, and I have to jam on aliens.
He's mentally jamming. That's what it is.
It's a mental jam. Yes.
The song is playing the same riff and the same cowbell sound and the same chimes on a loop copy pasted for 3 minutes. And he's like, all right, keep this going. I've got to get a mental brain soup going on. And I will admit, him calling them elderlies is hilarious. So much of the way he phrases everything is hilarious. But like Alex was saying, like the vocals are just like brutal to sit through. It's like
I enjoy them though. I have so much fun with this song. He says we'll make great pets 24 times. I looked it up.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
No,
But
24
more.
times.
God.
Yeah,
We
my
gotta
friend
mix it
told
up.
me about the dinosaurs.
Like he didn't know. Like he didn't know
learn
about
at
them.
school. There was dinosaurs, bro.
Oh. Perry Farrell.
This is the song that awakens me from Steam Brain.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree.
Oh God, I feel like if Anthony Kiedis didn't exist, I feel like the segment of my brain that's filled with thoughts about Anthony Kiedis would be filled about thoughts about Perry Farrell. Like
they've got to be best friends. Like
I
they
mean-
have to be the best of friends.
It is so
They're
fucked
either
up
best
that
friends
Mike.
or they've fought each other before.
Yeah,
It's
I
one
was
of
gonna
those
say
two
Mike,
things.
Patton,
Both
Perry
even.
Farrell, and Anthony
Yes.
all together. Imagine. Would you rather have $1 million or dinner with Perry Farrell, Anthony Kiedis, and Mike Patton?
Oh my god, this is just what a lineup of guys we have on this episode: Morrissey,
Peter
Perry Farrell, Peter Gabriel. It's just what a collection of new types of guys.
Yep.
We'll make
well,
great pets.
We'll make great pets. Let's move on to our next song. Well, speaking of pets, our next song mentions a type of pet. It's tear.
Tossing around.
It is Tears for Fears. Break It Down Again, which number one on July 24th, 1993 for 3 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Tears for Fears. Break It Down.
So those are my dreams, and these are my eyes.
Alex.
Stand tall like a man. Hit song like a horse. When it's on.
If you're wearing a shirt with buttons on it, you legally are not allowed to button it up while this is on. You have to have it fully unbuttoned.
I love this song so fucking much.
Since you pointed out the horse stuff, I love this song so much.
Yeah,
it's what's
so
remembered.
good.
he keeps bringing up horses for some reason, and it's so funny. This went number one after Nirvana. It's so
That's so
messed
great.
up.
Like 2 years. 2 years after Nirvana.
I love Tears for Fears, so I was predisposed to like this, but it's just such a it's so funny and the songwriting is good, and he says fucking fast off to heaven like Moses on a motorbike. He mentions horses
I love
like 4 times.
You won't stop talking about fucking horses.
So good.
As someone legally required to like anything that contains this many references to horses, like I enjoy this song. I will say, like, I because like I have a relationship with New Order and I don't really with Tears for Fears. This one feels more whatever and like more like move on 80s olds, like whatever. I don't really care about this, but it is nice. Like this is definitely not one of the worst songs of the week. It's very well written and effective as like a little pop song.
It is the most 80s song we've heard so far.
Absolutely.
I would say.
Even more than like Susie's and the Banshees and stuff like that. Like this
Yeah.
is just like
Yeah.
like so like 85. Like this is like back.
Yeah, the second I heard this song, I knew the music video was gonna have like epic footage of like canyons and cliffs and shit, and I was right. I looked it up. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Are there any horses in the video? That's
Pretty
that's-
sure. Yeah.
again, do the horses in this Tears for Fears songs? How do they wear their jeans? I'm wondering very much.
I think they wear like chinos or like khakis. Like they don't wear jeans.
It's nice to hear a Tears for Fears song that's not one of the 2 Tears for Fears songs that you hear.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Although I do recognize the song from somewhere, even though I've like never really listened to them. Like it sounds very familiar.
Let me see if it's some. I know it was the lead single of their '93 album.
We're going to talk about some incredible product song placement in a minute.
I love that album art. Like actually, well, the single art. I mean.
It is good.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the cover to like Tim Hecker's Radio Amore or something like that.
Yeah, there's no again. The song doesn't like Wikipedia's not saying anything on where it's from, so it's just. I think that's just like basically all Tears for Fears songs like kind of sound the same. I mean, but it's a great song that they choose to.
We have to remember like it makes sense that like some of these 80s songs were popping off. Like we have people now who like people just get stuck in one time musically, and like you have people now that like will only listen to stuff that sounds like it was released in 2003. Like still like they're just like I only listen to stuff that sounds like it could be on WWE versus Raw. And,
yeah,
like...
I was gonna say whenever I see someone on Twitter who's like dropping like the most freak takes, I just have to calm myself and just think there are more people on Earth who are willing to call Breaking Benjamin their favorite band than people who agree with this person.
Exactly.
It calms me to my core.
Of course, right. While Nirvana was happening, there were some people that were just like, oh, but I understood the 80s and I liked the 80s, so I'm going to stay there and keep listening to Tears for Fears. And like a lot of those people who understood the 80s were the people still in charge of radio stations or whatever. And like,
yeah.
This is
not the worst 80s runoff though. This is
absolutely not. It is the most 80s sounding song that we've heard on this list so far, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's a really good song. I was gonna say there's this random tidbit. So one thing about me as a child is that whenever I would get like a DVD of a movie, I would watch that shit so many times to the point that like the disc would be so scratched I could not watch it ever again. And one of the movies that I watched so much was The Sandlot 2. And there's a bit. So they do the like at the end, you know, where it's like kind of, you know, like this is what everyone's doing now, sort of thing. Actually, no, this is Sandlot 1 actually where this happens, where there's a guy that like he got really into the 60s and no one ever saw him again. And for me as a child, I just assumed that like, wait, did this motherfucker find like time travel or something? But no, it's just like, no, he just became like a druggie. Like that's what it is. And it feels like that guy is, you know, what if you aged that guy up like 20 years and you made him the music director of a radio station? Like that's what this song is. It's guys who just do not want to leave the 80s. And this song really is, it is the last, it makes sense that this is the most 80s sounding song we've heard because in terms of the charts, this is the last cry of the 80s, because after this is where there's not really any
Morrissey pops up.
Well, Morrissey is sort of one of those weird ones where it's like technically 80s runoff, but he was like someone that he's
his own country. Like if we're understanding all of the different strains of music that are going on at this time, Morrissey is like his own sovereign nation of just like you were on board with this guy or you weren't.
Yeah, like Morrissey, you can't really fully attach him to like the decade as much as you can like someone like Tears for Fears.
He also gets the ability to reinvent himself as a solo artist away from his 80s band. So like Morrissey's solo artist is like a 90s artist.
Exactly. Yeah. But let's get right in the fucking 90s, folks. All right, we are truly in the 90s with our next song.
I'm so excited for this,
and this is the reason why we invited Chris and Molly on, because I was like, it's so funny that this song exists and it's like where it is. We're talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers' "Soul to Squeeze," number 1 on August 14th, 1993, for 4 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of "Soul to Squeeze."
Please tell me.
And take away my self-destruction. It's bitter, baby, and it's very sweet. Holy roller coaster, but I'm on my feet. Take me to the river, let me on your show.
Alex is so happy right now. Me too. I like this song a lot.
I love that part so much.
It really is distinguishable from the John Daly parody. Like it's there is no parody going on there. That's just what he does.
The shit.
I'm mostly just glad that they kept this off Blood Sugar Sex Magic because it would have really brought down the quality of that record.
I agree. Like it definitely feels like the lesser cousin of Under the Bridge. And
I disagree. This is so much better than Under the Bridge.
I disagree, but I respect. I think musically, this is one of the better Chili singles. Like, I think Flea is going to fucking town on this song, and I think Frusciante does some nice stuff. But like, I think Under the Bridge works. I mean, I'm California brain poisoned. Like, Under the Bridge is just a song that, like I've said before, like if you you have to recite the lyrics to Under the Bridge every year, like it's your driver's license test, or they kick you out of the state. Like it is the it is the state anthem. It is like the dumb guy. Oh my god, I had a whole list. I'll get to that in a second. But I really, I wish Anthony Kiedis wasn't a monster because he is such a perfect archetype of California dumb guy that I want to appreciate in a harmless way. And unfortunately, he reminds us that beneath that like hilarious kind of goofy facade is often sex creeps, which we should acknowledge that like he wrote this in his own.
He fucking kidnapped me. What a shit.
We should acknowledge that. We should also acknowledge that he wrote this in his own autobiography, and he describes it as, and I want to quote, I think it was Cal in the Discord that says it as like a Smokey and the Bandit style, like he was like, I was on the run from the police, and the police's daughter was a 14-year-old girl that I was having sex with, and it like sounds like he made. But it's also so self-incriminating. It's like, why would you ever make that up? I don't know. It's just, he's a gross human being, and I wish that he wasn't such a sticky moral subject for me, because that is the only thing that is preventing me from being like a full apologist of this band. Like, I think I think the song is hilarious. I love that this was on the Conehead soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think that rocks.
We really buried the lead there, folks. We really buried the lead.
I mean, it makes sense. Like this is clearly like you were saying, like this is not up to the standard of, I mean, the standard of Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which is a ridiculous album. But like I agree that this feels very redundant with like Under the Bridge and some of the other stuff there. And but I also do think this song is better than like Scar Tissue or any of the other times that they tried to recreate the Under the Bridge magic. Like really, all Red Hot Chili Peppers are either Give It Away or Under the Bridge. Like they're trying to do one of those two things, and I think this is one of the more successful attempts of the latter. Like I like the guitar solo toward the end when Frusciante really lets it loose. I think the song is a lot of fun.
Having read Rick Rubin's, he didn't write it, but someone wrote about Rick Rubin's kind of production journey. Yeah. I feel like it must have, this was totally subtext and I'm reading into it, but he definitely must have solidified of like what his approach as a producer was with the Red Hot Chili Peppers when they were recording that album, because it just sounds like he basically hangs out in a house with them and is like, so you guys feel like rehearsing a song? Hey, have you thought about maybe figuring out a bridge for that song? Hey, is that song done? You guys finished writing that song? I think that's basically what he did. He was kind of like a songwriting cop for this album.
Honestly, that is Rick Rubin's best ability, is to lie down on a couch somewhere and just be able to pop in and be like, hey, don't do that. That
I heard you doing that.
Don't
stop it.
Just don't do that.
It's like micromanaging in the most chill way possible.
Yes.
And Kiedis needs that, because can you just imagine trying to be like, think about him just like, okay, Anthony Kiedis, read this AIDS PSA. It's very straightforward, very simple. All of these words are easy to say in a normal way. Like think about how hard it was clearly for whoever's job it was to record him for that PSA to get him to act normal. Like imagine trying to be in a band with this guy. Imagine trying to get him to do anything. Like Rick Rubin is just one of our greatest cat herders of all time.
Yes.
Between Kanye West, Anthony Kiedis, like he just knows how to. Come on, dude, just get in the booth and make this work. And you know what? Anthony Kiedis does not tank this song. That's the thing, is that he is not a good singer or a good rapper, yet somehow he is a decent enough frontman to just carry songs that otherwise are really being carried by like what Flea is doing and what John Frusciante is doing. But I don't know. This song is nice. I like it.
Chris and Molly, I pulled up the article. So we discovered this article. We were talking about U2 and how they had like condoms for their album, and I was like, let me just put the most risky Google search I've ever made: Red Hot Chili Peppers condom. And I found this article, which is where several inside baseball. It's where I got the audio of Anthony Kiedis kidnapping me. He did a radio.
What, that wasn't real?
Yeah, it sounded so authentic, though.
Yeah.
What was that tape I got?
Anyways, the CDC was like, "What the fuck?" And, like, didn't realize that Anthony Kiedis was Anthony Kiedis. Even though you could hear it, it's just, you hear it in the tone of voice. That man has done crimes in the sexual nature. Like,
no one who says the word naked the way he says naked has not committed a crime. Like,
yeah,
like
he's
that
the
is admissible as
trying
evidence.
To sell you drugs. Like
Anthony Kiedis has killed and eaten God. That's how he speaks. That's his tone here.
Sorry to steal one of your jokes, Gavin, but like, Anthony Kiedis wearing a condom is just, he's never worn a condom in his entire life. Like, if he tried to put on a condom, it would fucking like magnets on the opposite ends. It would just boing off.
Yeah.
Like,
I would like to read. I wrote some of these down. I was listening to this song in preparation and was just thinking about some of the ways you could describe Anthony Kiedis and his energy and what kind of tribe he represents, and I came up with a couple explanations. Anthony Kiedis is the goblin who lives in the sewers beneath Huntington Beach, California. He's like if a Zumiez next to a Wahoo's fish taco became a person. He's the patron saint of anyone who has ever hung a California flag on their wall with tacks. He has the most tribal tattoo energy ever possessed by someone who has never actually gotten a tribal tattoo. He's like if an I Heart Boobies wristband became a person. He's the kind of person who will buy a novelty shirt of Stewie Griffin as a gangster on the Venice Beach boardwalk and will put it on right there because he wasn't wearing a shirt. And he's like if the creepy manager of a Tilly's was given a genie's wish to become a frontman of a rock band on the one condition that he never ever wear a shirt ever again. That's the vibe that he gives off at all times, and we unfortunately must respect his position in music in the 90s, because this band is like, I mean, crazily influential for a band that is just so chaotic and doesn't seem like they should be like this mondo success that they are. Not that they're not, like, there are talented members of this band, but the fact that they came together and have managed to exist for so long without, like, how has Flea never gotten sick of Kiedis' shit? Like, he is a Zen Buddhist
there was one
master.
time, there was into the 2002 record, like, Flea was like thinking about leaving because he felt like his contributions weren't being respected, and then obviously that didn't happen. But it is, again, Anthony and Flea, like, just it's destiny, it's destiny. They're bros that are destined to be together for the rest of their lives. Like, they are never going to leave each other's sides. It's just not going to happen.
I also think it's hilarious that Flea very specifically was like, I think I was listening to this in the Rob Harvilla 60 Songs That Explain the 90s pod. Apparently Flea went out of his way to recruit a frontman who was not a musician. He's like, I want someone to join the band who is not musically trained and doesn't, because Flea is like a very like classically trained musician, and he's like, I need someone who has the other perspective here. And I think that is really the match made in heaven between Flea's like technical brilliance and his like the kind of attitude he has, where he's like, no, I want someone who doesn't know what they're doing. That's going to make the song better. And you know what? Flea's kind of right in some ways. There are times when Anthony Kiedis not knowing what to do empowers him to do things that no one thought was possible.
And of course, there's the third leg of that triangle of constant members of it is Chad Smith, ultimate normal guy.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't join till. Is he? I don't think
Mother's
he was
Milk.
on Blood Sugars.
Again, because their original guitarist died of a heroin overdose.
No, Chad's the drummer.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that's why Chad joined the band, because their original guitarist died of a heroin overdose, and then their original drummer left because of that, and so they recruited Frusciante and Chad Smith for Mother's Milk.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I will also say that one incredible tidbit that I learned while I was doing research for this is a on-air interview quote where someone was interviewing Tom York about Radiohead's In Rainbows, and they were asking him specifically about the song Reckoner, and they were talking about how that song came together in the studio. And then Tom butts in, he's like, actually, I had just gone to a couple of Red Hot Chili Peppers shows in a row, and he just drops that like that's the thing that Tom York does on the regular. And he says like, I was just sitting there vibing out to John Frusciante and the way that he plays guitar. And now when you go back and listen to Reckoner and understand that that is Radiohead doing a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, it makes Reckoner just even better as what it was already.
I've always thought it sounded like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, it is. It's totally like the guitars on that album in general. Some of the groovier stuff, like it's very Frusciante-esque in the playing.
Yeah.
Look, folks. TikTok, I want to rock your body like it's the 80s. No cock blocking allowed.
The shit that RHCP is doing right now is the stuff that would keep them relevant and beloved for the next 30 years and give us Rain Dance Maggie. This song with the diddle doddle ding a zing a dong bone is why we have that song. Why we still have Red Hot Chili Peppers today.
Oh God!
Thank you, Coneheads.
It's really remarkable how they have endured the way that they have. It's doing the same thing. I was very bummed to not be on the Give It Away episode last week just because I didn't get to shout out he says one of the lyrics in that song is like cock my brain to shoot my load, and I think that's the Anthony Kiedis ethos right there. That's what it's all about.
Oh my God.
This is my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers song we've talked about, and including Butt Rock and Car Commercial, because somehow they're in there.
I think so too.
I'm not sure. God, I honestly, this sound really bad. I think The Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie is the one that's stuck in my brain the most.
Tugboat Sheila.
Tugboat Sheila was in the memorabilia.
Yeah.
Oh God, Chris and Molly, any more thoughts on Soul Squeeze?
I think Anthony Kiedis, he's a sicko and a freak, and he probably does need to be put away or locked up or something. But he is one of our most powerful brains.
Yes,
and like we can't put that to waste at the same time. It's kind of like Trump. He's like Trump. Yes. Yeah,
or the Joker. To get on Twitter.
We need to put him in like some kind of Magneto-like facility where he cannot commit any sex crimes, but we have him in a safe and closed space where he's cranking out pop rock hits where he talks like Jack Black and does flibberty flabbits.
This is a good point.
He's air conditioned. He's listening to his favorite music,
which is
and he can't hurt anyone.
If you gave him like some whippets and a couple of other things, he'd be entertained for a while.
He'd be great.
Like,
you would need to put him on an island, like
Well, I know of a little island that no longer has an owner that I think
that
I think Anthony can stay on.
What about Jared's island? We should send.
Oh my God! Yeah, we need to send them both together.
Too many people there.
Imagine a Jared Leto, Anthony Kiedis supergroup.
Oh my God! Wow.
Speak it into existence, please. Here's the thing: we just have to hope that the kid who rubbed the genie's lamp and wished that his longboard would become a human, which became Anthony Kiedis, still has one more wish left, so he can transform his longboard back.
Yes. Beautiful. Was it you that said that like Anthony Kiedis has like a horny dog's brain?
Golden
body.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like what makes him a monster and so stupid is also what makes him free in a way that none of us could ever aspire to.
He's a classic example of great musicians having to have the freedom to be exactly as dumb as they want to be and need to be.
Yes.
To generate great music.
You know where we need to put him? We need to lock him up in one of those lifeguard stands that they're always cutting to in the OC. Just like a nice little lifeguard stand with a view of the ocean, and he can get tacos delivered every day.
Let's get to the end part of the pod, folks.
Yeah.
Before we properly end, at the end of every episode, we're gonna decide what our favorite song of the week was. And it will go up against what is our current favorite song of the series overall. So this episode, I mean, everyone, it's Mine is obviously the Depeche Mode song, but a very,
oh my God.
a very close
What is
second.
this Kristen Cinema bullshit you're inflicting on us right now? There's a winner. You know who the winner is, Matty.
Okay, it's Steam, right? It's Steam.
I'm voting for Steam.
Yeah, Steam.
Yeah, that's a jam.
It's got to be Steam.
So Steam, of course, so Steam is the winner, and it is going up against our current champion, which is Friday I'm in Love by The Cure. So I'll play a little bit of that in the background as we decide what is the best song of the series so far. I mean, it's Friday I'm in Love, but actually no. I'm honestly, it's Steam. Like I said last week, that Friday I'm in Love, good song, a little overrated. But Steam is something else, especially after the video. Like I'm gonna watch that every single day for the rest of my life until I fucking die. I hope that a Steam train fucking smashes into me, and I burst into a million pieces. And when they find like the remains of my body, they see an iPhone, and they just see me watching the Steam music video.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that Peter Gabriel already mentioned Steam trains in Sledgehammer, but yeah, I'm voting Steam. Like it's Steam.
I'm gonna vote Friday I'm in Love.
I'm genuinely torn because I think that Friday I'm in Love. I am about as big of a Cure fan as you will find, and Friday I'm in Love is one of their best big hits. It's not. I would take Boys Don't Cry and Just Like Heaven and a couple others over it, but I also think it is deserving of the mega respect that it has. And I would rather, if I'm just firing up Spotify, I'd probably rather listen to I'm in Love. However, I can't deny it, baby. Give me Steam.
Yeah.
Give me Steam.
All right.
And how it feels can make you real as anything you've dreamed.
Okay, so we have three votes for Steam. Molly and Chris, potential tiebreakers here.
You want to go first?
I gotta say Steam. Steam was just. It was such a vibe. It completely broke some people's brains on this recording. I'm gonna be thinking about I will see that imagery before I sleep tonight.
And probably when
I wake up.
We'll probably play it for everybody. We're going to this pool house too.
We're gonna show it to we're gonna pass it on.
We're gonna get everybody
virus.
into like the worst part of their trips this weekend and be like, "Yo, I got something to show you."
Yeah,
that is exactly.
Y'all want to see something crazy?
Y'all want to see something crazy? I'll give my official opinion on specifically The Cure versus Friday I'm in Live. In Between Days, much better song. Steam going over Friday I'm in Love.
That is true.
Yep. It had to happen.
The fucking
near
unanimous in Beach Bum when they play In Between Days while they steal the jet ski is like about as good as movies get right there.
In between or Beach Bum, just to go off on a brief tangent. For two movies that came out in was that 2019? In 2019,
yeah.
The Beach Bum was the much better Joker movie than Joker.
That's a good take. The Beach Bum is one of the best movies. Like I saw that movie in theaters 3 times. I'm the only one who did that.
It's so good.
If you want a good movie about a guy who decides to become the Joker, watch The Beach Bum.
Oh God! Well, congratulations, Peter. You're our current champion of the 90s Rock #1s, and honestly, probably could take it. Every episode we've gone to a new song. Peter could go all the way. There's a good chance Peter will go all the way.
Yeah, next week's playlist is fucking good, and I can't imagine anything.
Well, not next week's playlist because that's gonna be the playlist in 2 weeks.
Shit. Oh,
so
next week's playlist is good.
Oh,
yes. So we are taking a little breather from the charts next week as Gavin has put together his should have been 90s rock #1s. So about 12 songs I think you have in your playlist right now.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it to 45 minutes, so I think there's 12 in there.
Yes.
All good. We will be talking about probably the most important song of the 90s, in my opinion. But you'll just have to see next week.
Before we finish off this podcast, I want to make a quick heads up about the episode next week. Gavin's should have been 90s Rock #1s episode. That episode is actually going to be exclusive to our Patreon supporters pretty much until the end of the 90s Rock series. So if you support us for as little as $1 a month, you will receive that episode exclusively to your RSS feed or wherever you listen to the podcast through the Patreon. So episode only for patrons, and actually all of our should-have-beens coming up. So Gavin's, Alex, and I's should-have-beens episode, and then an episode on the cuts that we made to the series. All 3 of those episodes will be exclusive to our Patreon supporters, at least for a certain period of time. So if you're wondering, like, come next week, like, hey, where's this episode? It is on Patreon, although we will put up a fairly long preview on our streaming platforms and whatnot. So just a quick heads up, that's the deal next week. All right, back to the episode. Exactly. So a little break from the charts. Gavin's got some hits lined up for us. But then after that, of course, back with episode 5. And as I said, we're starting off episode 5 with Blind Melon's No Rain, which just fucking all-time classic. But you're gonna have to hear our thoughts on it in 2 weeks. But once again, Chris and Molly, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having us.
I am so glad we got to show Steam to you guys. I am so happy.
I feel great.
It's gonna be with me for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. It's like The Ring.
Yeah,
I can't.
you gotta show it to or you gotta make a friend make a copy of it, or else Gabriel
like it follows. Like you have to pass
like
it
a
on
digital
to
copy of a digital copy of Peter Gabriel crawls out of your laptop screen.
Yeah.
God.
Oh God, I wish.
Oh God. Chris, is there anything you want to plug before we head out?
And introducing our podcast, which you can find at soundcloud.com/and-intro-pod.
We're kind of on hiatus right now because we just did a big series in the spring covering every band in Our Band Could Be Your Life.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of work, and now we're kind of on vacation. But we'll be back in like August with something. It'll be our 100th episode. We have some plans for it, so that'll be great.
Exciting.
Which again, hopefully still in the books is our Jared episode that I know we tossed around.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
the most evil.
The most evil man.
You do not have to do that. you are not obliged to enable us talking about Jared Leto.
You do not, under any circumstances, have to hand it to him.
Oh boy. Oh God. Well, also, thank you, Jackie, for coming back on.
It was my pleasure, truly.
Oh boy. Well, folks, we will see you all again next week as we discuss Gavin's Should Have Been Number Ones. As always, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. Just $1 a month. The episode's 48 hours early. Get access to the Discord. You can become. It is a Steam safe place. If you are going to watch the video for Steam for the first time and you don't know if you want anyone that you know on Twitter or Facebook to know about the video, you just come to us. We're here for you. But nevertheless, we will see you all on next Sunday if you're a patron, and on Tuesday if you are not a patron. So we'll see you guys later, and bye-bye.
From your trash, you know your plastic from